This video is for you, my friend, if you think that you might be going through a Kundalini Awakening and want to confirm it and know what to do if you are. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 7 signs that you are going through a bona fide Kundalini Awakening right now, and also what to do if you are. So I had a Kundalini Awakening back when I was 23 years old, about 13 years ago. Wow, time flies. And when this happened to me, it happened out of left field. I had no idea what Kundalini was, that someone could actually have this experience, and I freaked out. I literally freaked out. I had my wife at one point drive me to the hospital because I thought I was losing my mind, and I thought I was dying. Actually, I thought I was dying. That's the reason. Fortunately, my friends talked me out of going, and I went in and kind of grounded myself at the house, but still, these symptoms were still so present, so wild, so just in my face, basically. And I didn't know what was happening to me. I had the sense, like a lot of you do, that something spiritual in nature is happening to me. I had kind of a knowing. I'm not losing my mind. In fact, there are times where I feel more sort of spiritually wise than ever before. So I knew there was something to it, but I didn't know what. So most of the time, my fears ran amok, and I resisted and sort of colored this beautiful, divine awakening experience with just my own fear energy. And I created a lot of pain and suffering for no reason. Because once I found out what it was and knew it was cool and okay and safe to let go and trust and yield, that's when it took a completely different turn, and my life has blossomed in miraculous ways ever since. So that's why I felt compelled to make this video, because I sense a lot of people are kind of going through what I went through. Sign number 1 is you feel, I wrote down, energy in the body. Those of you having this awakening know what I mean by that. What kind of energy? Like you have a lot of energy? No, not really. It's almost like, as a lot of you know, it's like an electrical type of energy that doesn't feel unnatural, but it's certainly foreign feeling. It feels unusual, but it feels like spirit energy. In fact, that's what the Kundalini is. They call it Kundalini or Shakti or Chi. It's just this life force energy that now is in your system in a much larger amount than your body and your wiring is accustomed to. Finally, the way I found out I was having this awakening is I looked it up online. I saw spiritualemergency.com or something, and I came to find out it was a Kundalini Awakening. And I finally hopped on the phone with this person. I don't have the book here, but she wrote this book. Her name is Bonnie Greenwell. She's a Kundalini specialist, and she told me it's very much like having like a 240 volt plug plugged into a 120 volt circuit. Too much energy for our system, okay? And this can manifest in many ways. You might feel heat, like heat in your body, energy up and down the spine, energy in your limb, throughout your body, throughout your limbs, tingling in your hands. You just feel like this. Sometimes it manifests where you just feel like there's like this, almost like this energy, like this, almost like an entity, like a consciousness in your system. And it can feel very awkward. And this is where a lot of people go into fear mode, because they just never had this happen before, and they don't understand that what's really happening is this Kundalini energy is just in your system now, purifying it, purifying your chakras, purifying your energy body, purifying your physical body, purifying your mind, helping you release fears and misaligned beliefs, and all this stuff you've accumulated over this life and other lifetimes that's weighing you down vibrationally and causing you not to be able to be as happy and content and like passionate and tapped in and authentic as you actually are. That's the purpose of the energy. But if you feel this energy running through you, oftentimes it can come on in certain circumstances, like especially if you're doing yoga or listening to good music that revs you up, or laying down at night. There are times when this energy seems more active than others, but nonetheless, it only has one goal in mind. That's to clean you out and make you happier. Number 2, enhanced spiritual connection. You might have this sense, there's like a divine thing happening to me. Sometimes this energy can have a divine quality to it when you really let go and allow it to reveal itself for what it actually is. And it can feel like bliss. It can feel ecstatic. And it can get you to extremely expanded states of awareness that you're just not used to being in. And from here, you might be able to just understand like the truths of the universe, if you will, like the laws of the cosmos. It might just be very obvious to you. All these different things that probably contradict a lot of your existing beliefs are just seeming like this is how it is. This is how it actually, this is the truth. Oh my, what the heck? And you also might have actual like abstractions of this spiritual connectedness. Some people, not everybody. This is where you go into where it's almost like a psychedelic experience. You can you can have all sorts of different types of ways this can manifest, where you're literally just having experiences of the divine, angels, spirit guides. This kind of stuff can make itself known to you, and it can seem like, wow, I didn't even build up for this. It's not like I've been studying this for the last decade of my life to where I'm comfortable. It's like, whoa, what's all this? Why is this happening to me now? I just don't feel prepared for this. But whenever you can like let go and relax, you can feel the underlying current, regardless of how it's playing out. That's irrelevant. Most like wise teachers, they don't even pay attention to that. Doesn't mean that's not really important for you. What's important is this divine connection, this thread of this current of love, this current of peace, this current of truth that binds it all together. So anyway, if you find yourself on a Tuesday afternoon in the stall while at work, tapping in to the samadhi experience from time to time, don't be alarmed. Just your friendly old Kundalini Awakening going down. Number 3, the complete opposite of what I said. That same powerful Shakti force that may or may not be running through you at this time, while it can tap you into these blissed out states of ecstasy and spiritual connectedness, they can have the exact opposite effect, where this energy will bump into your fears, bump into your existing unconsciousness, and that will be projected out into your experience. And it can feel very random and very, very real, very, very scary. And you might find these fears that come up, if you take a moment to think about them, or especially if you verbalize them to somebody else, you'll realize these don't seem very logical. These don't really, this seems kind of crazy as I say it, but it doesn't matter because the experience is very real to you, and even in spite of their illogical nature 99% of the time, you'll still feel concerned oftentimes, like, oh, I don't know, something, until that fear goes away, you might feel restless a little bit. But if you can understand what it's doing, is what you're feeling has always been inside of you in a more subtle form. And it's been clouding your perception of yourself and your reality. And that's causing you to make decisions that may not be in your best interest, and build an entire life from that foggy lens that's now being cleansed, and albeit in kind of a bold way, I admit, but being cleansed, it is. And before you know it, that fear is going to be gone, because that's what's happening. There's nothing wrong. It's just the energy is saying, oh, you got this fear, this huge pocket of fear. What the hell is this? Let's get rid of this, shall we? And then as it comes up to be expelled, you're like, whoa, what is this? Oh my God, what's happening to me? You start reading books and freaking out and reading the angel numbers, and it's like, oh, it's gone. And you're like, whoa, I can't believe I bought into that. It seems so silly in retrospect, but you know what? The time it was real, it can happen again. Okay, the fear. You can also have fear attached immediately to the recognition of how powerful this force can be as it runs through your system. This would happen to me before I learned what I'll tell you in a minute. I remember one time, as a funny example, I was sitting there and I was playing guitar. I'm not very good, by the way, and I plucked this chord. And all of a sudden, I got this feeling in my stomach. It's almost like I was aware, and I've come to learn what it's like a sick feeling. Like, oh God, like I knew that, and the Kundalini spirit wanted to work with me. Like I knew, it's like almost like being taken over by like an entity. It feels like it's not, but it feels that way. But I learned, I just to kind of let go and trust, and then the energy will flow through me beautifully. But again, if you feel this spirit, this Kundalini energy kind of making their presence known, and it creates that intense fear, just know what you got to do there. What would benefit you is just to let go, because that fear is not because there's something wrong. It's because you're aware there's a powerful transformation about to ensue, and it just feels like I wasn't planning for this kind of thing, right? And when you learn to just try it one time to let go and trust, you will find that fear will just fade away, and you'll find that you'll see that what's happening is a clearing. It's a purging. It's like an energy balancing sort of thing that the Kundalini will want to do from time to time, okay? But the important thing is just to let go. And I know it can come out of left field. I remember for a long time for me, this energy would make itself known when I was like either already asleep or about to fall asleep. At a time where we all kind of feel vulnerable, for it, honest. Most adults feel at times like little, maybe growing up, being afraid of the dark or whatever. But when you're in your bed and you're all alone, there's no one in the room, and all of a sudden this experience starts to happen, and there's the energy kind of coursing through you, and the phenomena behind your eyelids, the geometric pattern of the spirits, or however it can manifest, it doesn't matter. It's like, how do you not be afraid? Well, take my word for it. I've done it both ways. I freaked out several times, and I know that just made things worse. It amplified it and made me really concerned. And then I eventually said, I started to recognize the pattern and realize that, for one, there's nothing I can do about it. So one of these times I just decided, screw it. I'm gonna listen to what I should have been listening to this entire time. Who? Victor? The Bible? This book? No. Myself. My intuition. And I finally listened to my intuition, which said, bro, chill. Let go, you're fine. Let go, you're fine. Let go. Oh, and then it was different. Then it was very blissful. And what would happen with me when I would be woken up with the call of this energy, I'd say, oh, good, let's do this. I'd lay down, I'd get all ready, and I'd say, yes, let's do it. Because every time I noticed after, and this is also what caused me to be able to not freak out anymore, is I realized that afterwards, I feel better. I feel more tapped in. I feel more clear. I feel more spiritually connected. I feel more wise. I just feel like I'm a greater embodiment of my authentic self. Like I speak differently. I carry myself differently. I started to associate this after effect of just feeling like more like myself with this wild experience that I initially colored darkly, but in the end was a blessing. Number 4, I admit there are some inconveniences. You might find that your diet and your sleep habits are completely all over the place. You might find that you're really like for me, what happened was I started to not be able to eat animal products. And at first it was steak. Prior to my awakening, I was like a personal trainer. I still am technically a personal trainer, and I just worked out a lot. I ate a ton of meat, a lot of protein, a lot of animal products. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You go with your own body, your own intuition with that. But at the time, it was so bizarre to me that I was like, I can't eat this thing. It tasted chewy and like rubbery and fleshy, and I can't do it. I was like, well, I guess I'm not eating steak for a while. And then the same exact thing happened with chicken. I was like, there's like the same exact phenomenon, the same sensation, the same feeling of like, this does not belong in my system. And then I went down the line to fish. And eventually I was straight up vegan for a while, a raw vegan who was fasting all the time. And I just went through this wild thing. And then I sort of reintegrated back into like a more balanced diet. But the point is, this took me off guard. I didn't understand it. People thought I was weird. They thought, wow, Vic, you're losing all your muscle, bro. You're losing all this weight. You look skinny. It was so foreign to me. My diet changes. Also, you might have days or nights or spans of nights where you go to bed and everything's normal. You're probably actually tired when you go to bed, but you just sit there. Nothing happens. You don't sleep. You're wired. You're wide awake. Why? I didn't drink any caffeine. I cut that out because I felt guided to, and now I'm wide awake, wired. Yeah, it's okay. It's just that spirit energy is so intense in your system right now. It can keep you awake. It's a source of energy. And the reality is, you'll sleep when you need to sleep. It's not a big deal. What I used to do in the beginning is I would freak out. I'd get really pissed off and resistant because I didn't want to lose my gains, right? My muscle gains. And I was like, I need my sleep. I'm going to go into a catabolic state. If not, and And then I realized, I eventually sort of yielded and came to accept it and realized, you know what? I can function not too bad with no sleep. And I found that the nights where I couldn't sleep, I would just wake up. I'd wake up like 2 or 3 in the morning. Once I concluded that I probably won't be sleeping tonight, I'd wake up and I'd read, I'd write, I'd get some work done, I'd feel productive that day, and then I might sleep the next night or not. It doesn't matter. These things are just temporary side effects of this energy in your system and your body getting used to it. So it's really not a big deal. The best thing to do with all these things is to let go, accept, and what? Trust. Number 5, you might find that you have a strong aversion to anything negative. Anything. Music, TV, people, circumstances, careers, anything. Everything in your life will suddenly seem low vibrational and not a match. You might find that, wow, gosh, this music I listen to is so dark. Can't do that. Put on something that just makes me feel good. You might have that same effect with, like, for me, I love watching like good quality TV series like The Sopranos. I love Lost. There's other ones I've watched, Breaking Bad. Now a lot of you probably right now think, oh, Vic, that's low vibe, bro. That's bad. It's dumb. I love them. You know what? But I went through a phase where I couldn't watch them. Even like I like rock and roll music, Guns N' Roses, The Doors, Led Zeppelin, and like heavy metal sometimes. And I couldn't listen to that. It just felt bad for my system. I felt so sensitive to the vibrational qualities of everything. And anything that was seeming in my perception at the time being low vibe, it just felt bad for my system. It brought up things, and I chose to kind of purify my mind, purify my system of anything that seemed negative. This includes people. You're blasted open with awareness, and you quickly see what doesn't fit in your life, at least right now. But if you find yourself becoming this boring person who doesn't have any friends and can't do anything fun anymore, it's okay, because this too shall pass. I've since gone back into a lot of the things, old friends, music, movies and stuff that at that time I thought were dark and bad and negative. They're not. It just at that time, because I was so sensitive, they weren't appropriate for me. But having integrated and becoming more balanced out, I can look at those same movies, same series, and actually have a way greater and broader appreciation for them, because that Kundalini helped expand my perception. So I don't see it as good or bad, I see it as what it is, and if I happen to like it, it's okay. Number 6, chakra blockages. I wrote down very boldly because this is very common. You might feel pressure, and you'll sense its energy and not actual sinuses. Very common areas are like your chest, your third eye, and especially up here. The upper chakras tend to feel very blocked. For like 3 years, I had it so bad where I was disoriented. I couldn't think clearly, literally. It would like move around. And when it was like blocking me, when I felt that pressure, I just couldn't think. I felt like my brain was slow. I just felt like very, like dim-witted, and just like could never think of the word I wanted, and I would just kind of fumble my words. And it was tough because I was a personal trainer. I had to talk all the time. Other times when the energy was not blocking me, I was like, oh man, I feel amazing. I feel like super slick, super witty, super tapped in, and just a really good communicator, and it would go back and forth. I would also have that same idea, the pressure in my head, sometimes the chest. And I used to try to do stuff with it and move it around and go to see Reiki practitioners. And at that time, I discovered that the best thing I can do is to ignore it, because focusing on it makes it worse. To trust, and to even ground myself. Go for a walk, be in nature, do some light exercise, some stretching, just something to kind of feel in my body, to let the energy kind of go where it wants to go. Okay, but if you feel that, it's very common, and it will subside. Number 7, your intuition will start talking to you. Literally, no, not for most of you. But you'll find that as this is all happening, all this imbalance in many ways, in many areas of your life, you'll find there's a common thread, there's a common presence of knowingness. A knowing that I know how it looks, but I know I'm good. I know how it feels, but I know it's leading somewhere positive. There's a certain level of knowingness. There's also when you need to make a move, or when it's in your best interest to make a move in life and your career, whatever it is. You'll just have this like knowing, you'll just have this intuition. And during this process, it can benefit you greatly just to let go and trust and go with your intuition. And it's not easy because your intuition, again, is always conflicting with the ways you would have done things, the way the old you would have conducted itself. The intuition is like, well, we're trying to leave that person behind and become the real you. And the real you is your intuition. Your intuition comes from the realness that you are. And the more you take action from that realness, the more you get to be who you really are. And that's all this is about. I know for a fact I'm gonna get all sorts of comments and slack because I talked about Kundalini. People will think it's demonic, you're possessed. I'm not trying to argue with those people, but my experience, not only Victor's experience, having gone through for 13 years now, but also from working with people. I've worked with hundreds of people just like you from all over the world going through this experience. And trust me, patterns and themes are very easy, they emerge. And it's not just me. And a lot of you watching this will be nodding your head. They say, I relate. But here's the outcome. Here's why this is all happening, to make you more of yourself. To let go of the weight you've been carrying in the form of misaligned beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, unexpressed emotions, just low vibration energies that you picked up from other people that have nothing to do with you, that you're still carrying. The Kundalini is here to clean you out and purify you so you can be the youest you can possibly be, and then experience a life that is reflected and representative of someone who really knows themselves and is grounded in their truth. This will lead you to a life purpose that will satisfy you to the soul, to the core, to the bone. It will lead you to abundance. It will lead you to better relationships. It will lead you to all the things you want because you deserve them and because you're that powerful. And this awakening is going to help reveal that power to you, my friend. So what do you do with this happening to you? You let go and you trust and you know. And you drop in to the part of you that knows. And that part of you is always there, always trying to help you find more of yourself and reclaim your truth, your power, and your light. I have other videos, my friend. If you enjoyed this, you related, click down below and subscribe. I have a whole bunch of Kundalini videos, and I also have a free awakening newsletter. This is where I send out messages very similar to this, but in written form, right to your email, 3 to 4 times a week, roughly. It's totally free. I'll leave a link down below as well to join my awakening newsletter. And with that said, you'll have an amazing day. Peace.